Hello, it's January with English, lesson number 3. Today we're going to talk about past simple. We're going to watch and listen to an interview with Jennifer Aniston where she is talking about her experience as a child. She's going to talk about the places that she moved to, the places in which she lived. We're going to discuss the vocabulary that Jennifer uses. We're going to take a look at past simple forms and how we form past simple affirmative sentences. Then we're going to practice a little bit, and you are going to talk about your life as a child. So you're going to talk about the places where you grew up, and then we're going to revise the past simple forms that we are going to learn today. So are you ready to start? So let's take a look. First thing, Jennifer Aniston's early childhood. We're going to watch, as I said before, we're going to watch a part of an interview with Jennifer, and we're going to answer the following questions. Question number 1. How old was Jennifer when she went to New York? Did she live abroad as a child, and where did she live? What did her father do for a living? What did her father build in the backyard when they lived in California? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this part of an interview with Jennifer. Then we're going to take a look at the questions again, and then we will check your answers. Are you ready? So let's see. Okay.
What age did you go to New York?
I went to New York at 6 years old. We went Sherman Oaks, Pennsylvania, Greece for a year, then to New York City.
Oh, wow. And so you landed in New York City at 6?
At 6 years old.
So you probably left Sherman Oaks 4-ish.
Like 4-ish, 4.5.
And do you have any memories?
In Sherman Oaks?
Yeah.
Besides crawling on the floor of Costa Vega?
Yeah.
I remember the backyard. I remember my dad built a pool with his own 2 hands with his buddy.
And above ground, I'm imagining?
No.
A real in-ground?
Well, there was someone that dug, and then he was doing a lot of the work. They were just back there, these guys. And that was also when my dad was an out-of-work actor.
Yeah, you had a little time on this
hobby, which leads to why we went to Greece of it all. And but he was a door-to-door sales. He kind of was doing that stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I drove a tricycle into that pool that my brother had to save me because I didn't.
It was full of water or not?
Yeah, full of water.
And we almost lost
you. Might have a fear of water for that reason.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah. What happened in Pennsylvania? He wasn't chasing an acting role there.
No, but that's where all his my grandmother lived, and my cousins and my aunt, my dad's sister. He set us there, left us there, so he could go set us up in Athens with my Aunt Mary and my cousins in Athens.
Was he going to work there?
He was going to go to medical school in Greece.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the questions again. So, how old was Jennifer when she went to New York? When she went to live in New York with her family? How old was she? Do you remember? Did she live abroad as a child? Did she live abroad? Where did she live? What did her father do for a living? And what did her father build in the backyard when they lived in California? Are you ready to answer the questions? Okay, so let's take a look at the answers. How old was she when she went to live in New York? So Jennifer says in the interview that she was around 6 years old when she went to live in New York. Did you have it correct? Did she live abroad as a child? Where did she live? Yes, she did. She lived in Athens for a year. What did her father do for a living? He was an actor. But when he was out of work, he was a door-to-door salesman. And the last question, what did her father build in the backyard when they lived in California? He built a swimming pool with his own hands. So, did you have it all correct? So let's take a look at the vocabulary that Jennifer uses in the interview, in this part of the interview. So she says something like, this is about Sherman Oaks, California. So she lived there when she was 4-ish. 4-ish. What does it mean? I was 4-ish when I lived in California. So, yes, it's to be around 4 years old. So if you don't know exactly whether it was 4.5, 4 and 3 months and so on, you can say, I was 4-ish, 20-ish, 30-ish and so on. Okay, number 2 is to be out of work. Jennifer said that her father had been out of work. Her father was out of work. Exactly, he was unemployed, he was jobless. Then, to do something with one's own hands. My father built a swimming pool with his own hands. Exactly, it means to do manual work, to work with your hands. And the last one is backyard. Can you repeat? Backyard. And it is obviously a garden that is behind your house. So you can play in the backyard, you can grow vegetables in your backyard and flowers, for example. Perfect. So can you repeat? 4-ish. Out of work. To do something with one's own hands. To do something with one's own hands. And backyard. Can you repeat? Backyard. Perfect. Okay, so now let's take a look at the past simple forms that Jennifer uses in the interview. So you probably know that we use past simple to talk about finished actions in the past. So when something finished, when you are talking about something that happened a few years ago, for example, or many years ago, you use past simple. And you use it also with time expressions such as yesterday, 2 days ago, the day before yesterday, or last year, last month, last week, 2 weeks ago, in 2002, in 1999, in 1967, and so on and so forth. So if you have this exact moment in the past when something happened, then you use the past simple tense. And a couple of sentences to illustrate that. I was born in 1965. Or I was born in 1967. Or I was born in 1999. I lived in Athens when I was a child. I lived in Athens when I was a child. I moved to New York when I was 4 years old, or when I was 4-ish. We left Greece 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I went to my hometown last week. Okay, so now, how do we form those affirmative sentences? So if the infinitive, the present form of the verb is, for example, live, and we want to make a past simple sentence, we just put D. So with regular verbs, we put D at the end, or ED at the end of the sentence. I lived in New York when I was 10. And the same happens with verbs such as loved, visited, moved, decided, watched. But it's a little bit different with irregular verbs, such as leave, because the sentence in the past simple tense is I left California when I was 4. So leave changes into left. Build changes into built. Drive changes into drove. Go changes into went. Grow changes into grew. So for example, I grew up in Greece. Spend changes into spent. And be changes into was or were, depending whether we are talking about the person I, he, she, it, then you have was. But when you are talking about you, we, and they, then we have were. So I was born in Poland, but you were born in England, for example. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our experience as a child, our childhood. I'm going to start. I'm going to talk about my childhood first, and then it will be your turn to make your own past simple sentences about your childhood. Of course, the story doesn't have to be real. You can make up your own childhood. You can make up a story. You can say that you lived in California, like Jennifer. That you can say that you lived in Spain, in other countries, and whatever you want. I'm going to start, you listen, and then it will be your turn to make your own sentences. So, I was born in 1984. First, I lived in the north of Poland, and I grew up in Gdynia. Then my family moved to England, where I spent 4 years. I had a wonderful time there, and I really loved it. Next, we came back to Poland, and I went to school. And my father built a house for us. We had 2 dogs and a cat, and I played with them in our backyard. After 5 years, we moved to Spain. I met my best friend there. We lived not far from the beach, so we drove there every weekend. When I was 18, I decided to come back to Poland. What was your story? What was your childhood like? You can use the prompts that I have provided in here. You have, for example, I was born in. So you can use the name of the city or the name of the town, or you can just put the year in here. So I was born in 1984, or I was born in Łódź. I grew up in the center of Poland, in Warsaw. I grew up with my cousins. First, I lived. So try to use expressions such as first, then, next, after that, and so on. I spent my childhood in the countryside, for example. I went to school in Bałuty, let's say. I had a dog and 3 cats. Or you can say I had no pets. Next, I moved, or my family moved somewhere. When I was 10 years old, I decided to start playing hockey or whatever. Okay? So now I'm all ears. I am listening to what you have to say about your childhood, and your task is to make your own past simple sentences and talk about your childhood. Go on. Okay, are you ready? How did it go? Okay, so now the next point on our list today is a little bit of revision. So what I'm going to ask you now is to give me the past simple form of the verb that I will show you in a moment, okay? Okay, so the first one is meet. What is the past simple form? Met. Well done. Leave and left. Drive and drove, of course. And the last one is go and went. Perfect. Well done. And now, this is the end of the lesson. The only thing that is left is the homework that you are going to receive as usual via email. It will be sent to you soon. And the next lesson is going to take place on the 29th of January. Thank you very much for today and see you next time. Bye!